bitch face.
I do. I have that fucking face.
I love it though. It's awesome.
Like, even when I didn't have the beard, I'd be like, "Hey man,
he's already taken twice.
Yeah.
Over
twice.
I'm gonna have to fight for competition here.
Oh, I fight.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I'll scratch your eyes out, Anna. What? I mean, friend.
He knows what I'm worth.
Yeah, we're ready.
Are we going live?
We're going live.
Oh wow, we're going live.
Yeah, we go live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. People come on the chat. We'll shoot the shit with them. And
all right,
you'll be able to see it here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I checked out one of your recorded ones. I wasn't able to check out one of your live ones before. But yeah, hell yeah.
How'd you like our randomness?
It's cool. I dig it. I mean, like, it's the age of podcasts, man. Everybody's got something, you know. And I started one and miserably failed. And no, I'm trying to get it back started. But I've been in the podcast biz, but I don't really. I'm not a podcaster. It's very hard to kind of get into those realms that you're not familiar with.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I just stick to stand up. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. I carry around a book and a pen. Like, who does that? Accountants.
Successful fucking people.
No
a lot of successful people do that.
Let me introduce our guest first. With us is Josh Castro.
I'm ranting. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. I should have done
That's
it.
what this was.
I know. I was like, well, welcome to the show.
Dude, no.
This is what we do.
That is how we are.
And you run Border Laughs, correct?
Border Laughs, yes. Oh, that's cool. You got the background.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, my name's Josh Castro. I run Border Laughs comedy show.
Nice.
It is it's the only Latino showcase here in Austin.
Yeah.
And well, I try to showcase all Latinos, but I showcase everybody.
All the POCs.
Yeah. I just noticed during my tenure here in Austin comedy scene, most of the clubs didn't put a lot of brown faces up there on stage.
Yeah.
You know that. So you know, I hit the road and I saw a couple people that I really enjoyed as far as their comedy.
Yeah.
And you know, I felt that they should deserve that limelight just like them.
Mm-hmm.
So I provided Border Laughs as featuring comedians from the border, comedians with the, you know.
Is that why it's called Border Life?
Yeah. I'm from the border, so.
What side of the, like, what
Canadian border.
place?
They keep those Canadians out, man.
There's brown Canadians, huh?
I knew you said about weird.
Yeah, I'm originally from El Paso, Texas, and I grew up in a border town, and I named it Border Laughs because, like, to me, it's only right, like, people that you first meet when you come to the country are from the border.
Yeah.
So, like, if you come to my city or you come where I'm from, you know, welcome to the border, where you're welcome in my house, you know. So it's more of a form of welcoming. And when I first started it, it was during the time when all the detention cages were happening. It was like, why are you naming it Border? I was like,
am I wrong?
You have to.
Why not FOIL Laughs?
I know, right? So I was just like,
Mylar blanket laughs.
I was like, it's not about the fences. It goes deeper than that, man.
It's imaginary lines.
Yeah.
It's dope, man. I've checked you out on a few at the Creek in the Cave. I've seen you guys. That's where I first met you and Aaron and who else? Jason was out there. But you do have a showcase about every Saturday at Casa Moreno, correct?
Right. So I took my show concept to a Mexican restaurant at named Casa Moreno off of South 290. And I do those shows twice a month.
Okay.
So, yeah, and it's pretty much a lot. It's the same concept as Border Laughs, except it's an annex to it. So I call it Let's Talk About It.
Talk about it.
Yeah. So it's like it's just a sub context of Border Laughs. It's just like a segment. This Border Laughs, you know, segment of Let's Talk About It. And then it's the same concept, but I put, you know, Latinos in the forefront. And minorities, is, you know, let's try to headline them, you know, and
Let's Talk About It. Is it more of is it a stand up thing, or is it just literally
it's
shooting the shit?
It's all stand up. Yeah, it's all stand up. The concept of the show is basically like, it took me a while to kind of like develop it because it's more of like Border Laughs is people more than a place, because like it's like I want the environment where you go to my shows and it's like you're going to your cousin's house and we're all shooting the shit.
No, okay.
Everybody's having a good time. My cousin's over there running the DJ booth. I got my tias over here making tortillas in the back. It's just very family oriented. Like my cousins, my uncle's on stage talking shit. You know how he talks shit? I mean, my racist uncle, he talks some shit.
We all got that uncle.
Exactly. So, it's the sound uncle, but he says his shit, but it's one of those things where I just wanted to create an environment of family and just the party environment that I grew up in, because my family was very much into like family parties, and then as you get older, everybody starts passing away, and then the border town becomes the man, I wish I was back home type stuff. So I brought home to me. And I found a little community in Austin that is a lot of El Pasoans from El Paso, my border town city, are from here.
Okay.
And they show mad love. So it's all good.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's good. How long, how many years has it been running now?
Wow. I've been doing Border Laughs for almost before the pandemic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And always in Austin?
Yeah. I started off at a little cultural arts theater off of 7th Street.
Oh, the Aztec Theater?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a piece up there, the mural. All the side of it.
Yeah,
Heck
that's Ryan.
Yeah, there you go. Heck
I've
yeah.
been good friends with Ryan for years, and I was mutual friends with his family.
Got to meet their dad. Their dad is badass.
Yeah. They're all the Salinases are all great family. Traditional family. Shout out to the Salinases out there.
A true Chicano family from the east side.
Yeah, exactly, and that's who I wanted to work with. I come from Texas, so I'd rather work with some local cats here. And try to put the Mexicanos on blast out here, like where they at. So I met a couple local cats and local comedians here that they're from the original families, and they're all they're doing comedy out here, and like wow, there's a lot of history that they have, that they seen the segregation of Austin and how much it's grown and expanded and pushing everybody out. And I've been in and out of Austin since I was like in middle school, like since 92. So like I've seen also like the development, the changes. Like I remember when 6th Street was like, hey, we're gonna sneak you in 6th Street. Like remember, like you can sneak in 6th Street. Like it was like a big deal. Like hey,
that was my wife.
Yeah, right. Like, just act normal, right? That's just, hey,
How else do I act?
But
just hold the Zima.
Yeah, exactly. Hold the Zima. Put the Skittle in it. But it's that era where I remember growing up, and my brother was like showed me. He took me out of my environment in El Paso and showed me there's another life. Yeah. And I never knew that. I never knew white people existed so much. And that's the damn truth. It really was.
That was my awakening when I came to Texas.
Yeah.
I was like the white people.
I was like, wow.
I just grew up around Mexicans. East LA is just straight Mexicans. Black people, you don't see them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Came here and it's like, holy shit. I live in a white dude's house now and I get to see all the white people, like, habits and stuff. It's weird.
It's a different culture.
Very polite. They're very polite. They talk to their neighbors. It's weird.
That's why stereotypes exist. You're over there just being nosy and they're like, fucking Mexicans, dude. Always in your business, dude. Shit. Mean mugging you and shit. You're over here just like the gentle sloth of a neighbor.
Narrating their every move.
Yeah. Wow.
Look at the whites.
Fucking looking at, dude.
See how they interact.
It was an eye-opening experience for me when I moved in with my buddy. And a bunch of his white friends came over and family members and shit. And I'm just like, fuck, dude. I'm just like the dark guy who comes downstairs every once in a while out of my room, out of my cave.
What's your name? It's like Richard. I was like, Ricardo. Wow.
So ethnic.
Is that Richard with 2 R's? Oh, wow.
Do you have the Enya symbol anywhere?
That's hilarious. I started off in San Antonio actually, and that was another culture shock to me too, because like it was different. It was the same, and there was Mexicans there, but it was like when I grew up, it was very poor, and then when I moved to the poor side of San Antonio, that was like still rich. Like to me, it was like, and it was just, like, the poorer side of San Antonio was like luxury, and I was like, wow. But I chose San Antonio to live there versus Austin because like I was just different, you know.
Yeah.
So I felt more comfortable in San Antonio.
There's a lot of culture. There's a lot of Spanish culture in San Antonio.
So, you could see it.
Austin tries to refine that culture. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. Like going back and forth from San Antonio to Austin, and then especially doing comedy like all along 35. Like I've done comedy in New Braunfels. I've done comedy in like Kyle. Like I've seen the differences of the people like that live along this area.
Austin does try to like Starbucks. Being a Mexican, right? They try to white the shit out of it.
They do, they want the culture, but they don't want the drama that comes with it. They don't want the
grandparents,
the restraining orders.
You know, it's like the concept of Torchies. Why I do my Torchies joke on stage.
Yeah.
It's like poking fun. Like it's all white owners, you know, they're paying Mexicans to do the job based on white people's ingredients, and it's like that's not how that works. Like you didn't start that, and that's catered to their culture, their palate, you know. It's not, that's their form of Mexican food. That's why they call it like Tex-Mex.
I told these guys because my wife, she's in California right now, and then she goes over there and tries to order a breakfast taco with a flour tortilla, and she goes, so you want a burrito? It's like, no, just the flour tortilla taco, breakfast taco. So but you want flour? Yeah. So you want a burrito? And then she went back and forth to eventually she's like, no, never mind. And then she's like, fuck it, let me have it. And she gave her a burrito, and she's like, I don't fucking like this shit. And she tries to tell me, and I was like, babe, you got to realize flour tortillas mean burrito over there in California. That's the way we grew up.
Weird.
There is no small flour tortillas.
It's so different, and it's very regional. You know, it's very regional. The food that I grew up on is totally different from the food I grew up here in Austin. And I mean, it's not bad. It's just different. You know, it's just like, well, that's how y'all eat here. You know, it would
a lot
be
of
the
cheese
same,
and sour cream.
It would be the same concept if somebody went to my hometown and they're like, oh, you know, what's that? You know, like their version of Mexican.
Chihuahua.
Yeah, exactly. Like my version of Mexican food is nothing like anywhere. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is fucking weird because like we grew up with it, and then I slowly. Oh fuck! You know what? I'm just gonna poke at this right now. I'm going to a lot of taquerias. You know, everywhere I'm working at, there's always taquerias, and I'm like tacos de lengua. Before, cheapest fucking meat. And now, because a certain group fucking discovered it, they're just like, hey, do you have tacos de lengua? And they're like, fuck, man, we've been trying to erase that from our menu. And I'm like, why? That's fucking amazing. I was like, we can't buy tongues no more. Yeah. They're like $25 per tongue now.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. And they're like, it's just not worth it. It's just not fucking worth it. Like before, we could buy one for like $4, $8. Shit. The same one, big ass fucking cow tongue. Nobody would touch it. Ew, gross. Mexicans eat dirty. And now
it comes to the culture, like the whole history of our food. You know, you think about like menudo. Menudo was like somos comidas de los pobres. You know, there's just like they didn't eat that. You know, they didn't eat the intestines. They stirred that shit. They put the hominy in it. Yeah. Like that's what that was food. But that was food of the poor. And as it grew older, now it's like, oh, it's a delicacy.
Like the history of barbecue.
Like $15. like $15 a bowl, chinga. You know, and so you start seeing the
like, this is why you don't name pigs.
Those bullshit ass places that go, sorry, it's seasonal. What the fuck do you mean it's seasonal?
I was like, free range pig. I was like, fuck, dude, lock him up. He's cheaper. I don't want to know that he's free range and having a thought in his head. Yeah. Fucking put him in a cell.
I want to taste the trauma. I want to taste the fear.
So how the meat's tougher.
All like Christmas in Mexico, all you hear is just pigs crying. That's all you fucking hear.
Just the burning smell, the hairs.
And
the big flame.
And all we're thinking is just amongst the crying is just carnitas mañana.
Chicharrones.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Over here, they're just like, oh my god, that's so traumatic. I was like, the fuck.
But, like how do you think people survived back in the day? It's just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Like shit, like patas de puerco or whatever.
I still can't do that.
I can't.
I'm out. That's great.
That's what deterred me from pig for like 15 years.
I only use it for flavor. I don't actually eat it.
No, I still eat them, but yes, the flavor. But
Fuck
the
you,
it's a big ass fucking piece of bone.
It's very flavorful.
Like you get a lot from it. All the fat and shit, the cartilage. Oh, it's amazing.
No.
You get them little hairy knuckles.
Nope. Kill
I
me.
got hairy enough knuckles.
It's like kissing the Godfather's
My
hand.
palms are hairy
You know?
enough, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, my brother, my middle brother, he eats it. Like whenever my mom serves us menudo
Hell
on Sundays, the big old hand just goes.
Why don't I hang
Right in
out
his
with your brother more? I feel like we have more in common.
Hang out up here, Round Rock. He's around.
Nah, that's
He'll
so far.
find you.
Nah, fuck
Never
that. I would never fucking do pig feet, dude.
Really? That's weird.
Nah, I'm telling you, my dad forced me to eat pig feet when I was younger.
That's because he
And
forced you.
he says I'm not getting off the table till I finish the food.
So you got
So I
daddy
passed out. I
problems.
passed out on the table, and I woke up like in the middle of the night. My mom wakes me up. She goes, "Hey, go to bed."
Wow.
And so I go. And since then, I didn't
Take your
touch
pig's
pig
feet.
for like till I was about 18.
It's always the parents that traumatize us with food, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And since then, I don't eat weird shit. I can't eat rabbit, even though I'm pretty sure it tastes good.
Tastes amazing.
Duck. I don't eat frog legs. None of the stuff that actually people enjoy is becoming sort of common.
Like I remember, like my family would cook shrimp, like, and then I remember ingesting it and then throwing it up, and they're like, "Oh, he wasn't feeling good." And then, like, years later, it turned out that I was allergic to shrimp. And it's like, this whole time, my family's been trying to kill me. Like, no, it's not. Be a man to eat your shrimp.
Yeah.
You know, people are starving. Eat your, I was like, I don't want to die.
My throat's closing now.
He's turning purple.
So I was like, oh, my God, it's itching in the inside of my ear.
Oh, man. Like, I'm allergic to shrimp now
Oh, yeah.
as an adult.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Like the other day, I made ceviche with camaron and shit.
Yeah.
And in order to make sure it was done completely, I would eat a little bit of shrimp. I'd wait like 10 minutes, and I was like, if the inside of my mouth isn't tingling,
Yeah.
I was just like, all right,
good.
give it another hour. You know, yeah, I'm allergic to
It
it.
can't be raw.
It can't be raw.
Wow.
Like I could touch a little bit, like just like even in my hands.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with me too. Like, cause I used to work in seafood restaurants, without even like I could have died doing my job. Thank you very much.
How old were you when you figured it out?
So it's like clinically diagnosed my 30s, bro.
Hey,
Motherfucker just died.
I just dodged like shit. Like I was like the Heisman, bro. Just like
such a terrible fucking thing.
So hard to
it's
find
so
good shrimp.
so traumatic, bro. But like I remember working in seafood restaurants, and I'm like, you know, this don't affect me, you know, but I'm not gonna try it, you know, because I felt the same thing. My friend had one of those crawfish broils.
Oh yeah.
And he threw all this stuff on. I was like, yeah, well, I already knew I was allergic or something was going on with
So
me.
cooked or raw, you're allergic to it.
Raw.
I don't know.
It's raw.
I think it's either raw or but this is a weird thing too, because my friend did the crawfish, but crawfish is different.
Yeah.
And I ate the corn, and I still got that tingling just with the juice.
because it was in there.
But it turned out when I got tested, it was all crustaceans.
Oh, that fucking
Exactly.
sucks.
So the doctor told me, she's like, well, I don't know how allergic you are to this, so I'm going to go ahead and prescribe you an EpiPen. And I'm like, you mean I could have fucking died? Like, all
those times.
And I was just thinking about all the times, like all my friends, like, no, eat the shrimp. And I'm like, yeah. Like,
Quítate, no.
like, that's stop, you know, like, you're trying to kill me.
I mean, you say this now, and now I'm just nervous.
Kaylin says barbecue pig feet is the shit.
Oh,
Hell yeah, you see?
never had it.
No, it's not. It's
Fucking
not.
great.
Hell yeah, Alex Mata, thanks for tuning in, man.
Oh, that's my cousin right there. Oh, happy birthday to him.
Hey.
Oh, that's
just
right.
turned 20.
He was a shout
Shout
out.
out.
Shout out.
Oh,
Yeah.
happy
20?
birthday.
Yeah. I feel bad that I didn't go
See,
to his
if
little
I would have
barbecue.
never
so.
said anything, you would have never got a shout out. You're welcome, Alex. Hope you enjoy your birthday
We just got you 2 new followers, Alex. You're welcome. You're famous now.
All right.
So how were you as a kid? I mean,
I am now.
yeah, you're keeping the seed alive.
Right.
Drink.
Oh, no,
I'm good, brother.
I'm good.
How as a kid, like
Yeah, like what made you want to do stand up? How was your personality? When
man,
you
you know what? Like, man, I was a drug dealer. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't know, man. I had a good childhood. I'm not gonna lie. I had a really good childhood. I had a really strong family. I had a broken family, but I had a really strong family, and I think I grew up okay. I think I just like stand up was something that I always wanted to do, but I never really thought I was like able to do. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really start testing the waters until I was in college.
Yeah.
So, like, I went up on stage one time. Oh, no, I didn't went up on stage. I would joke around a lot with my friends, just like how we're shooting the shit right here. And, I would just come up with some funny jokes. And, my friends were like, it'd be funny. You just said that on stage. So you should try it. Like, go to an open mic. And I was like, really? It's like, yeah. I was like, what could I lose? I guess, right? And this was in between my college and semesters in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. So I went to LOL one time, and I was just like, fuck it, man. I'm just going to try a joke, And I remember the first joke I did, I had a bottle, and it had the salt on it, right? And the punchline was like, well, don't you guys think it's weird that you have, like guys are in the club and like all of a sudden they just lick the bottle? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, I feel like a bitch when I do that, dude.
And like that's like a common joke now, but I did it a long time ago and I never stuck with it because that was my very first joke on stage. Yeah. And when I did it on stage and try it out, I was like that, and I tried to act it out, and I went like that, and I dropped the beer, and like. Everybody just kind of like gave me that sympathy. Like, oh, good job. And I was just like, I'm a fucking idiot. And so I didn't really go back to it. And like I was just like, you know what? I should just kind of live my life and figure out. Yeah. I need to live my life before I need to talk about some shit, Yeah. And so I went through some shit. And
on purpose? Or
no, just life. Life in general. And
purposely not paying
right. And like, babe, you don't talk to me much. I was like, this is it.
I think, honestly, like, what really kind of led me to stand-up was I've always liked, like, old school stand-up when it came to, like, Eddie Murphy, Raw. Yeah. Like, even Bill Hicks, at a young age, like, my brother was older than me. He's 8 years older than me, and he was, like, really into the Austin scene, and he followed a lot of Bill Hicks and like at the time when he was at his prime. So
the early 90s.
He turned me on to him because it just made me think differently. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And I was just like, that guy is like making people laugh. I always thought that was cool. I was like, man, that's kind of what he's saying.
It's not like slapstick. It's not like obvious stuff. It's like he'll take you on a journey and then he'll go into government and then find the funny.
Exactly.
And it's like, holy shit, like I would never. It's just
so that's kind of like, and I'm not trying to say like I'm trying to be like Bill Hicks, but I was inspired a lot by his comedy and like the way Carlos Mencia came out too. Like I really enjoyed his stuff. Pablo Francisco, the Three Amigos tour, Freddie Soto. I mean, all those guys I grew up with, like, was also part of all influence of what my comedy is right now.
Yeah, we bring up Freddie Soto all the time.
Regardless. You have to, regardless.
Yeah. I didn't mean I haven't posted it yet, but it was if regardless was a person, and it's
that big old bulging eyes.
The bold, the ghost of Freddie. Hopefully,
they actually have a documentary.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Already came out?
Yeah, it came out already.
Where?
I think it's on YouTube.
Oh,
I don't know who did it.
I heard it was something was out. I always wanted to, like, I don't know. It's very hard to get the comedy scene on the same page, Like, there's a lot of great comedians in El Paso, like local cats that I've worked with for years. I said, man, we should do like a tribute show to Freddie Soto, invite his family, like they're all there, and like reach out to and like, why not, and do it at the comic strip, make it a big thing. But man, I don't know. I can only pitch ideas, man. I don't know. I'm only a dreamer, bro. I'm only a dreamer. Maybe somebody can help me sponsor this event. If you guys interested, reach out to Comedy Club. Reach out to me.
Freddie Soto is in Texas. I mean, his parents and family is in Texas.
I think they're still in El Paso. And his daughter. His daughter is still there.
She's probably like almost 20.
Probably mid-20s.
Yeah.
Rick introduced me to his comedy after he was dead. And I was like that's the regardless, and he's like, give him candies too, like, you know and I was like, dude, this guy's fucking hilarious, and then he tells me he's fucking dead, and I was like, of course he is.
Of course. Like Pablo Francisco was the one who introduced me to all those other guys. Like
with all the sound effects.
Yeah. He's like Whipple Splash.
Yeah.
Like so stupid jokes like that.
I paid attention to those guys, and I also paid attention to Carlin and to Hicks and Murphy and what's the other dude's name? Pryor.
Pryor, fuck yeah.
So those are dudes that I like. I was like, oh shit, motherfuckers, like all that, cussing on stage, and I was like, man, they're really like going off. Like I really like that.
Heck yeah.
When I was young, I was like, my mom was like, cover your ears, mijo, don't listen.
So don't listen to the funny.
To your eyes. And so she was very strict with me when it came to rated R, and so like I don't want you to watch it. So now it was more like now I want to know and I want to watch. So I guess that kind of what it brought me into stand-up was just kind of like going through some life circumstances and just kind of laughing about it.
Yeah.
Just kind of looking back at, a lot of situations that I've been in that led me to depression. And all of those times that led me to depressions have led me to fail myself. But every time I failed myself, I picked myself back up.
Yeah.
And all those times I picked myself back up, I laughed about it.
You got a joke?
That's awesome.
So it was just like, well.
So you at a young age purposely put yourself through hard times?
No.
I
Because it sounded like
You're absolutely right, because not purposely, but I made choices that I wasn't proud of, and those things led me to conclusions that I could do this way or I can go this way,
But you said that you're like I need to experience some shit because comedy.
Well, I needed to experience life. I needed to grow.
In order to break it down.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying. You knew at a younger age where you're like, I'm not ready for this because I haven't had the life experience
Exactly.
yet.
Like I knew, like when I was younger, like I wanted to do comedy, but then I thought about like, okay, if I'm gonna go up on stage, what am I gonna talk about?
Yeah.
And then I started watching other comedians, and they're talking about their life. Like I haven't been through any of that.
Yeah.
I haven't gone through like a cheating girlfriend, or I haven't gone through like and then I went through 4 cheating girlfriends. But
I got the best joke in the world, guys.
Goddamn bitches. They all let me to hear. Thank you so much.
It's like everybody laughs so I can uncock this.
You get the laugh and then followed by the reset the hammer.
Yeah.
Not today, Lucille.
So I mean, there's a lot of things that kind of led me to it, and it just worked out,
Yeah.
And I was just like, as soon as I finish my school, I'm going straight back to comedy, and that's what I wanted to do.
What'd you go to school for?
I got my bachelor's in psychology, and I got my master's in health and human services.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yeah.
So you got something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah. Well,
this
I
comedy.
I
thing doesn't
did it.
work.
I did it as a result of my fuck ups, And I went back to school, and I proved myself, and I proved my family that I could do it. And I went 8 years straight, without hesitation. Just
so you did it to shut him the fuck up. So
to shut myself up too.
Oh, yourself.
Yeah, that like I'm not the person that I thought I was. To prove myself wrong and to prove my family that that's not the person who I was.
You're like, I could do this if I wanted to.
Exactly.
But this is what I want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So I'm gonna drop that, and then now I want to.
That is a good way to shut people up, though. That is. It's like, look, I got my master's, I got my bachelor's. Like, shut the fuck up. Let me follow something I want to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can do this. This is cake.
I think that's the frustrating part for them. I was like, why are you so smart? You say stupid shit. And it's like, well,
exactly.
It takes that in order to dissect the stupid shit.
Yeah.
What did your parents say when they realized you have degrees and you're like, I'd rather do comedy?
Well, I grew up without a father, so I have a stepfather, and he didn't come till later on in my life. My mom was the one and my sister were the ones that kind of raised my grandmother as well.
How old were you when your stepfather came?
I was like high school.
Okay.
And so, but during that time, I really didn't have any guidance, and I didn't know who this guy was trying to be in my life, so I didn't really consider him a father, so it was just like I kind of just grew up fatherless. But
it's a room full of those. Well, not that lady, but the rest of us.
I was fatherless.
Her.
He's.
This lady.
Over here.
I have a dad.
But
Still pining for it. I love you.
you know,
He just started hugging me.
as much as a sad sob story, I grew up without a father. You know, I look back at it and it's like, you know what? I really didn't grow up without a father because most of the men in my life were positive influences. So I had many fathers.
Nice.
I had a coach who was a father. I had a teacher who was a father. I had an uncle who was a father to me. You know, even though they weren't there where I needed them, they were acting as fathers as such, you know. So I had many, you know, fathers in my life, honestly. So if I really think about it, positive influences.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was growing up in those circumstances, and once I got my degree, my mom was just like, okay, now it's a family, you know, and like everything else, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do the family. I'm gonna do the stand-up, you know. So it was more like my mom, like, well, why? Like everybody was just like, you have your master's, why are you doing stand-up?
Yeah.
Like that's
I was like, that was your dream. I lived it.
Now it's time for mine.
Yeah.
That was my family's attitude. Like, yeah, we're happy for congratulating. What?
They were already planning that, like, he's gonna be successful. We're gonna get a big house.
All our debt is gonna be paid.
We hit the lottery. We finally get a new car.
But it was just, I guess, I mean, I don't know. That's my interpretation.
They were already spending your money.
They could be listening to this and be like, no, that's not the case. But
blame it on Rick.
I just felt, you know, I just felt that like that was that kind of attitude because at first, the first 2 years of stand-up are really rough.
Yeah.
Like you suck. Like
Just two?
Well, probably more for some people, but most people on a path to stand up, the first couple of years are rough, and that's just you're barely finding yourself as a comedian. You know, it's like you're getting over stage fright. You're barely writing your jokes. You're not, you know, they're not there yet, but they're kind of like, you know, you got
still
a couple
forming your concepts.
right.
It's not polished.
Yeah. So you know, you're not who you say you are on stage yet. You know, there's not a persona or this.
Yeah.
It's not an act yet, you know, so you don't, it's like, you have 5 minutes, you have 10 minutes, you have 15 minutes, you know, so it's like, it's a gradual thing that grows as the progression, and some cats just get it like that. I'm not gonna lie, you know, it's luck of the draw. You know, and I'm unfortunate that I have to use my skills to try to move up in ranks and try to get better as a stand-up comedian, and just kind of write every day, try to get funny.
How was your stage right?
Oh man, you know, it was I recognized it, and after, like, now that I look back at it, and it was just kind of like me going up on stage and kind of just like my dick joke, just kind of reciting.
Yeah.
While you were on stage.
Yeah, it wasn't really like natural, like how you would actually.
It was
see
more
a
like
comedian.
a poetry slam more than
kind
it
of,
was.
yeah. It's like, the cat in the hat was funny, plus I'm Mexican. It was just dumb shit that really didn't make sense at the time, but it made sense to me because that's how I understood stand-up to be. And it just became a journey, and a journey into myself as well. So just understanding myself and self-awareness, and you know, understand empathy, you know, and where other people come from, you know, and I think that's been one of my journeys in stand-up is, you know, kind of empathizing with a lot of people, you know, in the crowd, you know, and trying to see, like, get that moment when they feel that certain way when I tell that certain joke, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's a cool fucking high, man. I like that.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's great.
I like that you keep revisiting it, though. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, Alvaro, you've tried it a couple of times.
Very small.
Yeah.
It takes work, man, and it's just like any craft, any field. And I've been doing it for like 9 years and 10 years, almost 10 years.
I always felt out of place because I was just like, I got to work to pay my bills. And then a whole bunch of the sign-ups were during certain hours where I'm like, I'm still working.
Yeah.
And
then I get there and I'm looking at all the people that did sign up. I was like, do you guys just not fucking work? Who the fuck pays your bills?
And half the time that is.
I'm like, that you can be here at fucking 4 in the afternoon to sign up,
So you can go in at 7.
Shit. Yeah, exactly.
And you just learn to work your way around.
And I'm just looking like that bitter dude in the corner, just like, my joke would have killed.
Yeah. And then there's so many people like that, and then they fester on that negativity, and then they're just like, oh,
yeah,
not funny.
Yeah,
I'm funny.
So you have to do that whole thing too, where you sign up at 4:00 just so you could.
I mean, I've done a couple. I mean, I don't do it anymore because I don't need to. Not that I say I'm better than that, but like, there's a couple of. There's usually those mics kind of suck. Like, if they're during the day, like just by experience, I've done those mics, and I don't go for those.
It's just so you could get some stage time.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
Just regurgitate whatever you want to work on.
Just work on your stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if you're up and coming.
Because I figured like at the beginning it was like the nicer times. Because you walk up there and everybody knows your shit.
Everybody's like sympathy.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah. No matter what you do, just, way to go, champ.
Yeah.
There's some places like that.
And then other places just like nobody said shit. And I was like, man. Yeah, exactly. I was like, man, this whole place is packed. Not one. All right.
Yeah.
Show me pick.
That's demoralizing.
I'll digest that at home later.
It's happened. It's happened where I've got no laughs and just I'm just like, all right.
You're like, fuck that one person that decided to drop his bag while the crickets were chirping.
And hear somebody make an order for a drink.
The worst ones are just like, let's say you get a gig out to Dallas or somewhere, and you go out there and you do a good amount of time, and you bomb, and that drive on the way back just is. You're
looking at all the clips.
I use
That's a big enough tree to stop this car, right?
I mean, I got 4 hours to kill and one life to kill. Well.
You're like, maybe they'll feel sorry for me if I die on the way home after bombing on my show.
Somebody out there like, good. We didn't need it.
That's what makes it so much worth it, because if you work hard, you're not gonna get that result. You know? Like, that's just, to me, that if you put in the work, you're gonna get that result.
Dude, your closer, that whenever I saw you for, it was Aaron Suarez's for his film or his taping. Your closer was fucking hilarious.
Oh, the dick pic.
Yeah, dude. I don't want to give it away. Like, I want people to go out and see you.
Oh, thank you,
man. But your closer was fucking amazing, dude. It was perfect.
Thank you. Yeah, it's one of my favorite jokes that I recently wrote, and it's fun. It's fun for me to do, and hopefully
that's what's so cool, man. Like, so whenever you get an idea, where does it come from? Is it just like normal everyday stuff, or something just kind of pops up in your head, or?
Yeah, man. The problem with being stand-up is that it's a sickness. You just end up. My shit just comes random. Yeah. I don't know where it is. I don't know what it is. I write it down. And if it's something that sticks, that's in my head, then I'm going to write it down, and then I'm going to have it either in my phone or in my head for about 5 years or something. And then I'm going to be like,
play with it.
I'm going to play with it, and then all of a sudden, it is.
So when your jokes, your president's still orange.
Yes.
Yeah, with your jokes right now, you're still.
Well,
this fucking Trump guy, man.
Well, in a way, yes and no. But I mean, I do have some jokes that I've kind of like revised during that time and kind of fit the same relevant, But I try to write, by experience, and try to get more like couple relationship stuff too. That's kind of funny, So I try to incorporate a lot of different stuff, like conspiracy theories and just out the wall stuff,
Nice.
And you just walk around with everything you see that catches your eye. That could be something, you just write it down.
Yeah, man. I don't know how to explain it, because like I could just be driving, and then I'll have an idea, and I'll literally pull over and I'll write it down.
See, that's the difference.
I don't even pull over.
That's the difference. Yeah, me and this dude, we'll just think about it and work on it, and then it's hilarious. Forget about it later.
Gone.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Yeah.
And so anytime, anywhere I'm at, I'm just going to stop and I'm going to write it down, or I'm going to write it down on my phone. And I'm going to write it down, and it's going to stay there until I find something that I either writing or something that I want to talk about, you know, or something that, you know, kind of bugs me, you know, that I think is you know, is funny, or I have a funny angle at something that I think you've probably heard it before, but this is a different take at it. So I don't know.
And that's so hard too, especially if it's like topical stuff, like current events. Everybody's gonna go, like the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. Yeah. Like everybody's gonna be digging on it for the next like couple of weeks, but it's like your thing is you've got to find your angle because everybody's gonna go probably for the obvious shit.
Right.
The same headlines.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the thing about a comedian's brain that I love is like they find how to uppercut. Yeah. Like it's not a straightforward thing. It's like, here's the joke. Like that. And that's what this dude does a lot. Like he'll take you for a story, he'll take you on a journey, and then like the joke will come like from out of nowhere, like from like rabbit punch you in the back of the head. And it's something that
I get my shit from awkward situations though.
True.
It's like biting my tongue knowing that I should have said something way back here. Yeah. And then the awkward shit happens. I was like, oh no, well now I'm gonna say something inappropriate. Yeah. And I was like, all right, well, fuck. I could have avoided this, but
yeah. And here we go. In the comedy culture, it's like you kill a crowd. You killed it. You know, you killed it. You know, that's the language. It's like, how'd you do? Oh, killed it. You know, and you know, if a comedian's cocky, they're gonna tell you that, or a comedian will like tell you, hey, yo, you killed it. You know,
nice.
So it's kind of one of those compliment things, you know, but it takes a while to kind of get to that status, and I think it's just, to me, it's like levels, you know.
Because there's people who have who's that guy that had like long hair and those faded
Mitch Hedberg?
Yeah, right. Who would talk about like just like simple things.
One-liners.
Yeah, there you go. One-liners. I was like, could never keep up with that type of comedy. Yeah. It's too simple, too fast. And for me, I was like, I love storytelling. No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I just know that I couldn't come up with them.
Hey.
Yeah, también.
Leave them.
But I know that I couldn't come up with that type of comedy. Though. All my shit is dissected into a perverse way to where it's not even funny anymore. And then I was just like, well, we beat the shit out of this fucking horse. Let me rebuild the horse. Let me Frankenstein this fucker. And then it comes into a simple fortune cookie thought where I was just like, oh, well, shit, we could have just worded it this simple. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I don't know why we did this whole dance, but I feel like it was necessary because I feel like I would have wasted time.
That's what's cool about it, though.
Doing it, yeah. I mean, all the little stories and shit that I have are all snippets of shit that I've already... It's not even funny to me anymore until I find it funny again.
Yeah. And there's also like a little formula to it too, like that I follow, you know, and it's something that like it's a certain way in how you write it and then how you also perform it. You know?
There you go.
Like when I was nervous at first, like what actually got me over my nervousness was doing improv. And improv, like, because it was in a group setting, I didn't feel so bad bombing.
Nice.
Because everybody else was bombing. So I was like, hey, if I suck, you guys suck too. So I got over that. Actually helped me get over and get more comfortable on stage and be more.
Where would you do some of this improv here?
There was a place called it's called Fallout Shelter now. But at the time, I think it was called another. Forgot the name of it, but
was it Esther Follies?
No. It was just one of those. It was just more known for improv, and they offered improv classes. So I took like a level 1 or level 2, and so when I try to write my jokes, I write about more like too also Mexican culture. You know, I like to involve it, but I don't want to be too cliche. You know. Yeah. And like you know, I try to stay away from the stereotypes. Where I've been make fun of them more. And like make fun of the fact that you're laughing at them. You know.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know if you guys also saw like the SNL skit, you know, with the cholas.
Yeah.
Did you see about that? Did you hear about that?
I saw the article, but I didn't open it.
Selena Gomez.
Yeah. Selena Gomez.
So,
I tuned it out.
So it's one of those things like kind of cringe shit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And it falls with stand-up because it comes with comedy. So it's like SNL. You know, I get all the little articles, and basically what it's saying it's portraying Mexicans in a negative light, basically. And it's like some people are glad that, oh, yeah, finally Mexican culture is SNL. But it's these cholas that are like, that's just like, nah, and it just made them look very stupid. And it's like a lot of
caricature.
Yeah, a lot of like you could do better.
Cholas turn into brats.
And the writer is I met her, Melissa Villaseñor. She came down to Moon Tower one year in Austin, and I got to meet her. She was very nice. She was very nice. She was great. This when she first joined the cast of SNL, and apparently she wrote that one. And it's like, there's just so much more. I don't know if maybe she might be pressured to write a certain way so that the mainstream media can understand the culture. And that's the problem with being Mexican Hispanic, is that we're very complex. You can't just categorize us.
Well, it's like a lot of the nerd. Let's just use Richard here for example. All right, he has a lot of nerd fucking tendencies
like
and
what?
Whatever.
Like what?
Pokemon, anime.
I don't follow.
There you go. Hold on. And I'm not saying that's a bad. I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
That's Marvel and metal. Like,
it doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm just saying it doesn't matter. It's just that a Hispanic person being educated or entertained by these things is viewed as, that's weird.
No, and you're absolutely right.
And you're just like, why?
And it becomes, it's part of our culture. It's part of our culture that we're evolutionizing.
I'm not fighting you.
We're being more Americanized.
There you go.
And it's nothing about being Americanized. It's just we have always been here, and that's the thing. That's a culture that we've been. Yeah. It's like we don't have control over that.
Like the fact that Dragon Ball Z is a big thing in Mexico and any kind of thing, and we're like, dude, that's Japanese.
And it's like,
how is that not just weird everywhere?
We're looked down on because we don't know Spanish or we don't know certain things about our own culture. But it's not our fault because our whole establishment was established by non-cultural people. So you got to think and understand, like, it's not that people are being ignorant to their own cultures, that they don't really understand their own culture. So it's up to the individual themselves how they understand their own culture, their own identity. I traced my family back to Chihuahua, Mexico, and found out that they were part of the Mexican Revolution there in the border town back in the 1900s. And so when the border town was established, that's where my family came up. They immigrated up to there. So I'm third generation here in the United States. Nice. So all my family is from there. We all migrated here to Central Texas. So, I mean, it's really up to you on how you treat your own culture, Our ancestors left us hints. They left us stone. It's in stone. It's in stone. It's there. It's right there. You can't deny it. It's not in writing. It's in stone. They left us our things for a reason. Yeah. So it's up to us to carry that torch, and how we see it is how we and that's how our culture.
And that's why I've always had, like, as muralist and doing like art and shit. Everybody was like, when are you gonna start representing that Hispanic side, that Mexican side? And I was just like,
you are.
I am Mexican. Am I not a piece of this?
Right there.
I was like, am I not another fucking piece of it? And like, I'm Mexican. And they're like, no. But you should be doing
lowriders.
And that's and that's a misconception. That's a misconception with border laughs. A lot of comedians are like, oh, you gotta do Spanish or you gotta do chancla, and like, no, just be yourself. Be who you are. That's your experience. Your Mexican American experience is exactly who you are.
Because in every small Mexican town, traditional town, there's a fucking weirdo just like us.
There's somebody there that has a misfit fucking shirt on.
His Monster Hunter.
I was like, we're here.
I don't follow.
Exactly. So
that's why every time they would ask me that question, when are we gonna do shit for more shit for the raza? And I was like,
we're very prideful.
I have an Enya in my name, asshole. How is that not more raza than you want? Like, holy shit.
We have our own roots, We have our own roots.
Yeah.
So it's
and I was like, we're the expansion of our culture, man.
Right. Exactly.
I was like, we still appreciate our food. We still appreciate our roots. We still appreciate all this shit. But to you to tell me that I cannot advance, fuck you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was like, we're part of it. Yeah. I was like, it's another fucking little root and branch.
How prideful you guys are with, and it's great. But I was like, I was hearing you guys like, oh, we're from. I was like, dude, I never gave a fuck where I was from.
And that's exactly how my cousin is.
Never.
That's exactly it.
Mexico means jack shit to me.
Every conversation I've been in with Mexicanos, no matter, there's always that motherfucker. I don't give a fuck about our culture.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about that.
It can thrive. It can thrive and all that. But I was like, I was raised with very little, so I'm pretty selfish with the shit I have.
Yeah.
So I don't have time to be worrying about other shit that doesn't involve me.
Right.
Yeah.
And even like pretty much everything in my life, like once it's done, it's out. I have flashes of what happened. Like even with the water heater. Yeah. I remember when the water fell and hoisting down the water heater, everything else is gone, dude. It's like I remember little things, and I tried thinking about it, like playing it back in my head. I can't. I just have freeze frames of little things, and I was like, yeah, I just don't give a shit
You're a
about
fucking machine, man.
Yeah, my brain just.
I mean, we did
discards.
knock out the water heater in an hour.
Yeah, but like it was pretty eventful, but I don't really remember it, and that's the way it is with culture. And it's like I don't give a shit about it. Like being brown has never benefited me, at least that I know in any way.
Yeah.
So
No,
I'm
that's the
worried
thing about being a Chicano. You have to be Americanized, and you have to defend your culture, which you're not taught because. Like,
But I will.
Hey, bro,
I
we're
do
trying
get
to.
pissed off when people fuck with our food.
Well, and granted, there's some motherfuckers I don't want to back up, you know, and I'm not fucking, hey, Raza, hey, dude, you fucking, nah, there's Raza, I don't fucking, you're not my own.
My family did it this
You're not
way.
my onda.
Yeah, my
so
family
it's like,
did it this
I'm
way.
not being racist to my own culture. It's just like, nah, motherfucker, just like black people don't like other black people. That's the same shit, you know, like, it's
and I was like, we're here.
What's it? There's
We're
black people
queer.
and there's me.
Well, I mean, again, it's just like we're here. Like that's it. I was like, oh, you don't know this. I'm like, bitch, I love cooking our traditional plates. Yeah. I'll name you the spices. I'll name you the fucking times.
Yeah.
I'll fucking use banana leaves and fucking bury a fucking hole in the ground for you if you want it.
You know, I offended some Austinites, man. And are you guys?
That's easily
who's from
do.
Austin?
That's easy to do.
You guys are originally from Austin, East Side.
Yeah, East Side.
So
Shut up.
when I first I started doing some stand up, I wanted to start a taco vlog. And basically, I was going around. I took Texas Monthly, like all these spots that they went in Austin, and they said these are the best Austin tacos. And I went over there and I shut them down. I was like, "You call these fucking tacos?" I just shitted on every place I went to on my taco vlog, and it turned out it wasn't good for me anyways because I was wasting a lot of money and I was gaining a lot of weight and I couldn't afford this shit. So
blood pressure was skyrocketing.
One of my last episodes was shitting on Joe's. Bakery Joe's.
Oh, damn.
Exactly. Yeah. And I didn't realize the significance when I put that episode out there. I had one boy say, "Hey, bro, like, hey, man, you might want to be careful with that." Field. Like I was like, "That's harsh." I was like, "Oh man," but in my mind, I'm like thinking like, man, y'all don't know what Mexican food is. But I was like,
you want to be real. And you're like, hey, man, let's just call it what it is.
And I was thinking like, oh man, that's like somebody coming to my hometown and shitting on my shit.
Yeah.
So like I looked at it more that way versus like, oh man, you don't know what real Mexican food is.
But how much would you piss off an Indian dude if you go, hey, this is my version of tikka masala?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you would piss him off, dude.
And so it took me a while to. I mean, it didn't take me a while to realize that, but it made me realize, oh shit, you know, like. This taco vlog, maybe I shouldn't really. I'm gaining weight.
What was it called? Fuck, I fucked it up. See, I'm not a comedian. I was gonna say let's taco vlog it.
Let's taco vlog it. Yeah, that would have been perfect.
But I stutter. This is why I'm not a stand up, and I never will be because I fucking stutter.
Oh, dude, I still.
I write down shit all the time.
He was looking so forward.
I know. I was like,
He's warming up to it.
Deer in the headlights.
Damn it.
Dude, I stutter all the time on stage, man. It just happens.
No,
I can't recover though. That's my thing.
Yeah, he has to pause and analyze it.
And you call yourself out. Everybody's just like, oh, he's
Hold on, it's in my notes here, guys.
Have you stuttered on a punchline?
Oh, he has Tourette's.
Have you stuttered on a punchline?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah?
All the time. Yeah, especially like if if I'm not really good at surprises. So like, so sometimes like if you know, it doesn't happen very often, but you know, a comedian will drop out, and I'm not expected to go on stage, and I wasn't ready, so I was just like, I'm gonna try to get my punchline out, and it's just like sometimes it just won't be there.
Yeah.
So it's just
not even the punchline. You're just like,
and it's just a horrible situation for me because I feel like the Biden, but Biden, that just like, you know, how you know, it's just like, it's just horrible. But I get over it after a while. Yeah. But it's also like a test too. Like, hey, you're not always gonna get that opportunity to be ready. So
yeah,
always be ready, motherfucker.
Did you have that like talking fast phase? Like where you just want to get it out?
Yes, I still do. I still do have that problem, and that's, you know, part of stand up too. You know, you're discovering a lot of stuff. You know, and that's one of my problems that I have. And the problems that I have is like I write a lot of jokes, so most of my jokes go past 5 minutes. And the problem with a lot of stand up, especially like here in Austin, especially if you need to like really work on your set and get reps in, you only get 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like you're forced to do 4 minutes, right? Yeah. So you go to one, I go to one open mic, I do 4 minutes, and then I do another 4 minutes over here. So it's like I'm so used to doing those 4 or 5 little 3-minute sets, that when I actually get a longer set, I'm like, and then I'm like, fuck, I ended early. Yeah. And so I have to like learn to pace myself and just kind of have fun.
That breathing part right there.
Yeah, that's been my issue with this.
Yeah.
Is I talk fast.
Yeah,
it's like,
it happens.
I gotta relax, slow it the fuck down.
Yeah, and just, you know, just take your time. And weed helps too. Like weed helps me. I don't know.
No, it doesn't help me.
Anybody else? But
that shit'll grind me to a halt.
It just for me, it just like slows my brain waves, I guess, and it just makes me like, you know. Because
I say this shit all the time.
Kindred spirits?
Well, I guess because, you know, we're probably the people that are just real quick synapses and high anxiety. You got high anxiety?
There you go.
High anxiety people often...
I'm sweating at 67 degrees. There you go.
Yeah.
It works differently for
fat.
Yeah,
different
that's
people.
what I'm saying. Like, every dumb fuck thought happens all at once, and when I smoke weed, it was just like... Let's talk about all these dumb fuck thoughts. And I'm like, there you go. This is why weed helps me.
It'll take my thoughts and it'll be like, let's go over here with them. You know? So
I leave everybody behind. Like when I pick up my daughter, and she'll start trying to talk to me, and it's like, dude, I'm in the zone. Yeah. And she'll be talking to me, and I'm just like driving, just quiet. And she's like, wow, you're super emo today.
Mushrooms are pretty fun. You guys do mushrooms? I don't know.
I've done them once.
Oh man, it's pretty cool. It's awesome. It's a different.
It hurt my
experience.
eyes next morning.
Yeah, it took me a while to start. Like I started microdosing, and then like it wasn't doing anything for me. And then I just got frustrated, and just took a shitload, and it was like, oh, this is now working. So it's
gonna end in 2 hours.
Hold on tight, motherfucker. And it was pretty cool, and so it was a different experience. It's fun. It made me it really made me connect dots.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, besides the trippy part of it, like, oh, I'm high, it was just made me really think about like make calculations that I didn't think I would make. I was like, oh wow, that was a good joke. I could write that down real quick. So creatively, it does help, but you know, I try not to do it too much. You know, just
cause then it feels like it burns out. You know.
Yeah, well, that too.
Up the dose.
Yeah.
Well, it's like smoking weed and shit. Where people are like,
anything's gonna be habitual. Yeah. So it's.
There you go.
I'm not a one person to. I rarely drink. This is half a beer. I appreciate it, but I don't want to be rude. But I'm trying to like, but I do smoke a lot more than I do drink, but I try, you know.
But it's more of a creative.
Yeah, it's
reason?
more for creative. Okay. You know, I don't try to like make it a habit forming.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that is very important, I think.
Yeah.
When it comes to like, I don't know, that's gonna sound so fucking cliche. Just being an artist, and it's
you're right.
You know, trying to come up.
You're looking at me. I paint murals and try to write.
Yeah, I just try to like, you know, just try to come up with some really good jokes. You know, and I'm trying to like really stand out because especially like with Austin being so competitive now. There's so many comedians now. You know, Joe Rogan. So it's like to me, it's like okay. I gotta level up.
Yeah.
No, hell
What do I
yeah.
gotta do now? You know?
Alvaro actually did the mural in Jonathan Gonzalez's house.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, he drew all that. The Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
That's his artwork in his house.
All right.
And whenever I came up and talked to you, you were talking to Polar Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. And this dude did the mural.
Yeah, I think he jacks off to those pictures every night.
Oh yeah.
I
I hope he does.
He has white fur for a reason.
I hope he does, man.
That's my claim to fame.
I was like,
I Polar Bear's wall.
I painted his seats and shit for his guests and stuff. And
shout out to John Polar Bear.
Hell
love that
yeah,
boy.
man.
I love that guy.
Jonathan, man, he's fucking badass. Him and his brother have been fucking awesome clients.
Great people, man.
To
Great
work
people.
with.
Great individuals.
And his brother
Like,
cooks too.
I know John for years.
Yeah.
And, you're talking about going up on stage, and I've never met anybody any more dedicated to to the artist. He, as much as bullshit he does on, like with his dancing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
TikToks.
Yeah, little TikToks. Yeah. But like a lot of people knew him for TikToks.
Two
but
whole
it's
Mercedes is his character, I think.
Yeah, and he does stand up, and they're like, oh, you do stand up? Like, yeah, he's been doing stand up. Like,
Yeah.
TikTok is just one little avenue.
your
world. There you go.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, he's actually funny on stage. It's like, yeah, he's been funny. Like, we've been on tour. Like, he's known for that. Like, I know him as stand up.
Yeah.
I don't know him as
The
as TikTok.
Yeah.
But I know he was always done that, which when I thought it was weird.
Yeah.
I was like, why is this dude so hard on TikTok? And like, why is this dude so hard on
Like meeting him
videos?
for the first, because I worked with his brother first.
Yeah.
For his kids' arcade room, and then because they lived together, like he came out, and it was just like, oh shit, what's up, bro? And for him, I'm pretty sure it was like TikTok, stand up, and I was like, nope, not ringing the bell. What's up?
Yeah.
But it was because of that same part that I appreciated after that fact, learning more of like, oh shit.
Yeah. He works hard.
Yeah,
man.
I was like, you're doing all of this. Like, you're going on tour. You have all of this.
And I'll tell you one thing, dude. The Austin comedy scene showed him no love. They showed him no love.
I never heard of him.
Exactly. That's why. Because they never showed him love. Yeah. Every time he would come out, open mics, he would rent out his own studio and practice his own jokes. He wouldn't go to the open mics because it was just not worth it.
Yeah.
Because it was just they would make fun of him, or it was just like,
yeah.
It didn't feel like he could be himself. And
Yeah.
it's just like, and that's how the Austin scene made you feel. You would go
That,
out there.
that can also go with the Austin music scene.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Austin local musicians don't get any love. They got to go other places for it.
Yeah.
And especially like during South by Southwest, like if you're an Austin musician, you're not playing anywhere.
Right.
Unless it's like a free show. Oh, hey, we're having a free show. Come by, whatever. But for whatever reason, Austin being the live music capital of the world, it shits on the Austin musicians.
Yeah.
I used to do this one.
So I could see the same thing going with comedy.
It's
I used to do this one
Yeah.
joke where it was just like, man, this getting renamed the construction, and I got to a point where I was just like, this big old Texas dude renamed me, and I was like, and I kept going with the joke, and I was like, quick, just little study. When I said a big old Texas dude, how many of you guys thought of just like a good old country white boy?
That's exactly what I just thought of. Right
Yeah, and everybody's like, woo, and I was like, it was a Mexican dude who hired me, and everybody's like, oh. And I was like, I'm kidding. He was white. But like, that was the point. It was just like, it's fucking racist, but nobody liked it because they were just like, oh.
Yeah.
Like,
You exposed them all.
yeah, there you go.
And that's another thing too. You have a lot of like really sensitive folks that don't like to laugh about other people's pain.
Yeah.
And, like,
So-
even though it's funny to you, it's like makes other people feel sorry for you.
Yeah, that joke right there, one white lady was like, ha! And I was like, I appreciate the fuck out of you, lady.
Yeah.
This whole room was
The only one
laughing.
being honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was like, hi. And I was like, cool.
Thanks, lady.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that was it. Like, I couldn't move forward. Like, I moved forward with the joke, but it was just that one little part where everybody got awkward. And
And
you
that
just ruined my date, asshole.
yeah, that
Oh.
happens a lot. That happens a lot in stand up.
Yeah.
Do we want to go to break with the Canes Corner or want to come after?
We should come back with it.
Yeah, we should come back with it.
Okay. Are you going to be here or you got to take off?
No,
I'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We still got people tuning in. What's
Yeah,
up?
we still got we got people tuning in.
What up? What up?
We're gonna take a quick break. Thank you, Josh. We'll see you on the other side.
You want to put in your plugs for the Borderline Jams shows or anything else?
Oh,
for
yeah,
you
yeah.
I'm
personally?
gonna do that right now.
Right now in the live set?
Yeah, so I have a show. If you please follow on Instagram, Border Laughs, all one word, BORDER LAUGHS, Border Laughs. That's me, and I also have Just Joshing Comedy at Instagram. Just _ Joshing, one word, _ comedy.
But that one might get deleted.
It might also get deleted. No, that's probably my third account.
I think it's your third account.
I'm being very, very cautious this time around. I did have this is my third account.
Yeah.
I don't know what, I'm trying to still get my old account back. I'm actually meeting with a media consultant in about 2 weeks to get all my shit situated. But I do have a Border Laughs, and I do have a Border Laughs podcast, which I'm going to start up again. But
Nice.
I lost my access to that to do, so I'm just trying to get that page back. So,
Perfect.
but yes, you can follow me at those Instagram, just Joshing Comedy or Border Laughs, and check out my shows at Casa Moreno's down on South Austin 290. We do those shows every 2 weeks, and I also do shows in Leander, Texas, up north too. So anywhere you go, I'll be funny. That's where you find. That's where you find me and find the stage. That's where I'll be.
Perfect, man. Appreciate it.
Thank
We'll
you
see
so
you on